Hi, I'm Cheryl Coon. I'm the Vice President of the Clinical Outcome Assessment Program. And we have 3 consortia within the program. We've got the Patient Reported Outcome Consortium. They're working on developing new measures or modifying existing measures, developing the evidence that's needed to get qualification for these measures in clinical trial use. They're also working on methodology, best practices, and really trying to move the field forward in the COA space so that people are all educated on what evidence they need to generate and how they need to document that for regulatory purposes. We have the Rare Disease COA Consortium, and they are working on the Rare Disease COA Resource, which is an online tool where sponsors can go and look for measures that might be usable in rare diseases for the outcomes that they need to be able to measure, because we can't develop a new measure for every single rare disease. That would take too much time, and we just don't have the resources to do that. So can we start with a place of knowledge and build from there? And then we also have the Electronic COA Consortium, and they're focused on the technology behind administering these COAs in clinical trials. So if we're using iPads or even DHTs to collect information, they're working on that methodology, that type of evidence that needs to be documented for regulatory purposes. Broader than that, we have the program itself, and so we have a few COA scientists and psychometricians and experts that sort of act as consultants elsewhere in CPATH. And so we are able to support other consortia and the COA efforts that they are leading themselves. So we're working closely with the Critical Path for Parkinson's. We're working with CPR&D and ALS and elsewhere. And so that's kind of, we can go anywhere with that knowledge, and we're really excited to be partnering with those other consortia and helping them with their endpoint measures. We have a number of instruments that have been qualified for use in clinical trials. And that is a lot of work to get that done. And so the fact that we have numerous of them, it's not just one success, and they're across different therapeutic areas like asthma, depression, non-small cell lung cancer. And in those areas, those instruments are ready to go in clinical trials. And so sponsors are able to just hit the ground running by plugging those into their clinical trials rather than having to do all that work de novo. So it's really speeding up drug development because the work has been done, and we've gone through that effort of generating the evidence and getting it through regulatory review. So the qualifications are a huge success. Within that, it's just the conversations also that the sponsors have been part of with our regulatory colleagues to be able to understand what that evidence looks like. And so not only is that helping with the qualification of those tools, but it's just educating the whole field in the process. So it's lifting all the boats at the same time, because all the other indications can also learn from those interactions. So the success is tangible through qualification as well as just part of that collaboration and learning together.